Caryn Black, Sotheby's International Realty, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, of course, yet primarily, or at the same time, I should say, focused on New Hope, Pennsylvania, Bucks County, the surrounding areas, including Lambertville, New Jersey, etc. Caryn, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. It's such a pleasure to speak with you and work with you. It's been an honor to work with you and watch your success over the past few years since we've known each other. And it's a thrill, of course, to get to speak to you about Bucks County and New Hope, Pennsylvania, this magical little town, if you will, that I like to describe as a ski resort town, basically the size, almost exactly the size of Telluride, Colorado, without the ski hill, sitting there on the side of the beautiful Delaware River in Pennsylvania. Such a special spot, and what an incredible career to become a leading luxury realtor in obviously the great state of Pennsylvania and then of course New Jersey, but further to have built your career in such a magical little spot.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I raised my kids here, and it just really is. It's just beautiful. There's not many places really anything like it.
No, there aren't. The only places that of all of the magical places I've been very fortunate to live, circling back to one that I just mentioned, the only places I've lived that are similar to New Hope, and it's the magic of it, are ski resort towns. And not every ski town, but some of them. It's very much like a Telluride, again, without the ski hill. I just noticed as well when I was doing a little additional research too, as I was preparing to speak with you, the population, and this is very much like Telluride, the population of New Hope has literally been right at around 2,500 for the past 10 years. It hasn't gone up significantly. And that's, in my opinion, a beautiful thing and a very powerful thing, because it shows how that community, that little borough, which is what you call it, correct?
Correct.
How that borough is managed really well by the professionals that live there, such as yourself, by the city, the borough members, etc. And that's how Telluride operates too. Is they've had so many, and I know New Hope has experienced this now more than ever. And in the past, we have the companies, hotels, luxury resorts, etc., that come in and offer a lot of money. Yet that would, of course, change the entire dynamic of a special spot such as New Hope. And New Hope has been very good, in my opinion. Obviously, you can speak more to that, but in maintaining its integrity and its charm and the uniqueness of what it is.
Correct. Yeah. I think that especially now there's more regulations going into place with restricting people from tearing down places and building, just taking the charm away, putting up 4, 5, 6 townhouses versus just a beautiful home. And it's so true that there's no more land in New Hope Borough. It's all the river, the canal. So the fact that it'll remain a small, like 2,500, maybe we'll get up to 2,700 because of some new stuff. But other than that, I love the size of it and the quaintness of it. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful to actually be able to walk around and say, oh my God, I live here and I work here.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are very few spots like that on the planet, and further in the United States. It's a really special place. It's such a gem, because you wouldn't suspect finding it just sitting there as it does in all its uniqueness, right on just on the side of the Delaware River, not far from. And this is segueing into a beautiful thing. While you can be in New Hope and feel like, again, you're in a ski town in the middle of nowhere, you also have proximity to major airports when you need to get away. I mean, you've got Newark, 45 minutes away. You've got Philly International, about 45 minutes to an hour away. You've got New York if you want to take a jaunt over to the city. So it has that beauty as well, say similar to an Aspen or a Vail, where you're tucked away in the mountains. But if you want to get over to Denver, etc. So it really, I use those similarities because I think it's a powerful way to describe New Hope, and that it is like this magical, quaint resort town. And the architecture, I mean, the homes that you sell, Caryn, from just across the board, but they're some of the most beautiful properties. And to know that you're in an area, what, let's see, 7 miles away from where Washington crossed the Delaware on that
Right.
infamous evening, and you have such rich history. It's breathtaking.
Yeah, and it makes our job to some degree, well, for me, it makes it more fun, to tell the story and having that history and even, the Delaware Canal and the different locks along the
Yes.
Delaware and being able to walk people across a lock onto the towpath, and just explain everything that happened from slave tunnels and underground railroads. And it's just incredible. I mean, it's just amazing the history that went on hundreds of years ago, and these homes are all still standing, most of them modernized, within the past 5 years. It's breathtaking. It's so pretty. And so I do love to tell that story. And I think when you get into um, listing a property, and when a buyer comes and being able to walk them through what this room was originally for and this room was for, you romance them, and then they buy the property, and then they never leave New Hope. They
Right.
love New Hope.
Right. Yes. It's a place that when you do discover it,
Yes.
it then becomes a place that you don't potentially ever want to leave. And thank you for bringing up the towpath. And that's another thing about New Hope, and I love how you just used the word romancing those that you're showing your beautiful listings to. Is it's difficult to say to someone, well, you have to see this towpath in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Someone might look at you, if I was describing that to, say, a friend from Laguna Beach or Aspen or Miami Beach, it's like, yeah, no, I'm all set. No, thanks. But when you actually experience that towpath, which is miles upon miles of some of the most, I'll probably use this word too much during this conversation that we're so fortunate to have, it's one of the most magical experiences in the United States. That towpath is it's just incredible. It's so beautiful, whether it's in the middle of the summer, the spring, the fall, even in the winter. If you dare to venture out into the chilliness, it's just magical.
It is. I mean, being able to run it, bike it, it's just when you look on Instagram and you look on Facebook and you see the amount of people that post, just stop to take a picture. And there's so many people that actually post and comment, I am so grateful to be living in a painting. And it's true. All the Impressionists came to this area, and the
Right.
artist, it's just incredible, and that's why they came here and they painted. And believe it or not, they painted in the wintertime.
Right. There is what is that road where some of the most famous impressionists on the planet have gone to and painted and still go to? It's
Well, there's Cuddalassa. There's
Cuddalassa.
actually
Yes.
a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Cuddalassa, Fleecy-Dale. That whole Lumberville area was an artist colony. And then, of course, Phillips Mill, where you still see people outside painting, and it's just beautiful.
It is just beautiful.
And I get to work here, so it's great.
And so, what has since 2000, since that magical moment in 2020, March, April of 2020? Obviously, there was that slight hold your breath. But since then, what has it been like as one of the leading, if not the leading, luxury realtor in Bucks County, the New Hope area? What has the market been like there, and what is it currently like?
So we were basically shut down by the government for 3 months. We were not allowed even to photograph. So once we opened up and the governor gave us permission, it was nonstop. For almost 2 full years, 7 days a week, we just didn't come up for air. It was, for me as a listing agent, it was easier in the sense that I was just going and listing properties and selling them and showing them. But for buyer's agents, it was very difficult. Some people, believe it or not, didn't make any money because you were in bidding wars.
Right.
Our area of New Hope is a little bit of a bubble, a good bubble because we are more luxury, and therefore we had, for the first time in history, a lot of people coming from California and New York that bought the $3 to $7 million properties in a heartbeat. Like they just showed up and they paid cash.
Mm-hmm.
So the properties were going. If anything came on under a million around us, that was it. They were gone. Now the market is becoming more normal, where we are listing properties, getting showing requests. We went from this craziness to agents calling me saying, "Are you going to give a deadline to when offers have to be in?" And we did that. We didn't like it, so we would started to say, no, we're not doing that. You come, you put your offer in, we legally have to present it, and we sell it. And now we're just getting back to normal, which is great because you don't have the people putting in offers. Did I make a mistake? Take it, So now it's actually it's really good. I think the market by us is solid, and it gives us room to breathe, which is all I care about right now. Because I don't know how sustainable it was going to be if we had to continue.
Right. And it's very solid. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the median home price is, as of say 2 months ago, give or take, you might have more up-to-date information than I do, but it's 7.9 or about 8% up over last year, right?
Correct. Yes, actually. And pending sales, which we were shocked at, the new numbers came out and pending sales were up. So we thought they were going to be down, and they weren't. They were up. So that was a little bit of a shocker to hear that. So there's definitely, right now, there's not a lot of inventory, but we're in the summer. But once the fall hits, that is also, for me personally, it's my busiest time. But the summer is slower, but the fall is huge because everyone comes here for the fall foliage.
Right, which is spectacular. And you use the word appropriately, and thank you for bringing it up, calling or referring to New Hope and thus Bucks County as luxury. It is one of the most affluent markets in the United States, correct?
Correct.
And
Correct.
thus you have the amazing school districts. It's one of the safest places that, you can possibly live in the United States, correct?
Correct. I actually have never locked my doors in almost 20 years.
That's amazing.
When I go away, I might do that, but when I'm home, in and out all day long, I don't even lock it at night. It's just such a beautiful, safe community. People are walking everywhere. Everyone is outside enjoying what's here, outside dining. So yeah, it's incredibly safe living here. It's actually one of the reasons I chose to move here from New York.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. And thank you for touching about that. The dining is fantastic. You have the Bucks County Playhouse, which is definitely.
So you got the deck in Stella.
Correct. And you also have the renovated Logan Inn. You have renovated or new, however you want to refer to it, Odette's on the south side of town. And so, and again, the way that New Hope does it quite eloquently and appropriately is you have these fantastic enhancements, if you will, that have been made without this infusion of overdone, not inappropriate robustness, if I'm stating it correctly.
Yes, totally.
And so, with respect to a few more questions, I'll let you get going. I know how beyond busy you are.
That's all good.
And so you have, you mentioned that you, for a period, you had a significant number of people coming from California as well. Where do you see most currently and consistently, for the most part, where do you see most people that you are fortunate to have become clients? Where do they come from when they venture into New Hope and discover New Hope?
Most of the people are from New York and the New York surrounding areas. So that could be Connecticut, Westchester County, New York, of course, Manhattan, Long Island. And some of it's based on they came here for a wedding, a friend told them to go visit. And some, most recently, from the Hamptons have relocated here because of the tax structure.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, California. And believe it or not, we have a few people that moved, that I specifically know of, that moved to Florida, and they're moving back.
Interesting.
Yeah, they love it here, and even going to Florida with the no, state income tax,
Right, exactly.
it didn't matter to them. They're moving back.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's yeah, New Hope is just, yeah, as you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to live, and to be able to live and work in the borough for me is just it's just incredible. I mean, I can, be out back, of my office and sit in an Adirondack chair, looking at, meeting with a client, or just, sitting there looking at the canal, or now just walk out my door and walk to restaurants for dinner. It's great.
Yes,
Orland.
when you can find, and that's key. Well, at least in my opinion, that's key. Is when you can, if you are able to be in the borough, as in that core, and you can exist there for the most part without owning a car.
Oh, absolutely.
One hundred
Yeah.
percent.
And walk right over to Lambertville.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Which you also have listings in, because you're licensed in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and to be able to do that, as is your amazing daughter who's working with you now. I believe you mentioned to me a few weeks ago that when she did get licensed, she was the youngest person in state history, something to that effect.
Well, like Kerfis Sotheby's history to ever have someone that literally was 18 years old.
What a great story to be doing what you do passionately and love vehemently, and to do that with your daughter as one of your partners, so to speak. That must be amazing.
It is. I just can't express it. I mean, we had a real challenging deal in Philadelphia where she was the lead listing. I let her run with it. I let her take it. And I was a little nervous because, she's now graduated college, so this is her full time.
Hmm.
And it was so stressful that I thought, oh boy, I hope this, she's going to, want to continue to do this. And she called me after we closed, like minutes after, and she said, "You know what, Mom? I love what I do." I was like,
That is
"Oh,
so
I wanted to
great.
hear." I know, right? It was, and to be able to, yeah, you know what? We just were at a networking event for parent-child teams in Santa Fe, New Mexico,
Huh.
and people were going back and forth with ideas and hurdles and challenges. And I actually looked at it completely different. I said, how many people actually get the privilege of working with their child
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
enjoying it, and being able to actually say, everything that I built, I'm just not bringing in other people. I'm actually, helping her now in the next generation. And it's just wonderful.
Right. And to be proud of it.
Beyond proud. Beyond.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a beautiful story. So along with that amazing story, successful closing that she had, what are a few other? I know you can't call any single listing a quote unquote favorite listing, but what are a few of your current listings that you would like to perhaps touch upon for reasons on your end?
So thanks. So one we're just actually launching today. It's a quintessential Bucks County stone farmhouse, 1600s farmhouse.
Wow.
With I know, with the barn, 8 acres, pool. It's actually magical, and of course the history dating back to William Penn. And this was part of his land. He owned, I think, it sounds like he owned almost all of Pennsylvania, but definitely up and down the river for sure. And that is on for 2.595, and actually I think it's a steal. It's 3 miles from the river, so up in Tinicum Township, so about 25 minutes. But then, as we were talking about the artist colony, I have one that's coming on the market. It is a famous artist, Clarence Johnson, whose artwork is now in the Michener Museum. The sellers are getting the house ready right now. It is a combination of a antique home attached to a mid-century modern, and then there's because it's built into the cliff, multi-levels of patios, and across the patio was Clarence Johnson's cottage that is still standing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's in Lumberville. So that is where the artist colony, was, and where people still go to paint in the Black Bass restaurant.
The Black Bass Restaurant. That Lumberville Bridge is one of my favorites.
Isn't that great? And it's right by that, right by the bridge. Yeah. So that's coming on the market, and that's going to be roughly around 2.7, 2.8, somewhere around there.
And that Lumberville Bridge, you have that flag that's always perfectly clean and waving from it. And you go across to, is it Bull's Head Island, I believe?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, special little spot. That whole circle, really, from Lumberville over to the Jersey side, and then also straight up, or actually down south, the Pennsylvania side through New Hope to Washington's Crossing, back over. That loop is just really pure magic the entire way.
It is pure magic. I mean, whether it's the morning before anyone is, when the sun is rising, or sunset, it's magical. It's a magical area to live. And like you even touched upon the schools. I mean, New Hope Sotheby Public School, first of all, it's the only school in the entire county, only township that has its own school. Every other area has multiple townships sharing a school. New Hope has its own public school.
And it is where you can legitimately say it is one of the safest, and I think it's important to say right now, it is one of the safest places that you can live in the United States of America. And that's a fact.
Yeah, it is a fact. And again, it's a good bubble to live in, with everything going on, even right now in Philadelphia and all across, our country right now. We are in this bubble, and it was the same way in COVID. You were here, and being able to walk outside, enjoying this nature. Their houses are not on top of one another. You go about your life, and you actually really can breathe. Like you had said before, you're just walking around here, looking at nature, and you don't need to go anywhere.
No, you don't. You absolutely don't. And you can, if you are focused and have the commitment to it, you can tune out all else that is going on and really be in New Hope, or Bucks County, if you will, as its own, entity, wherever it might be on the planet.
Yeah, and I do get the privilege of seeing houses in the borough where, obviously there's all these old antique homes, and, your neighbor's kind of right next to you, but people have created gardens, and it's so lush here that when you're in the backyard, you have no idea that there could be hundreds of cars parked on Main Street, New Hope. And you have your own little enclave right behind your house, your own paradise. You don't even realize you're in the borough when you're in your backyard.
That's very true. Very good point. And to expand upon what you just said with respect to the lushness, and that's what's very unique about New Hope in Bucks County, but with respect to New Hope, is you truly get to experience the four seasons. And it's amazing especially if you lived in, say, California or Southern California, from Santa Barbara down for some time, when March 21st happens, well, nothing happens. It's the first day of spring, but nothing happens. June 21st happens, well, nothing happens. When you're in New Hope on March 21st, like literally almost on that day, you get to experience the changing of the seasons. On June 21st, you get to experience it. On September 21st. And to really have a moment with that and experience the changing of it and how it goes from this winter wonderland, as it can be with the beautiful snowfall that it can get, and then the way that it literally explodes, and it explodes like a painting coming to life, as Doug and I have discussed many times, is you literally, from day to day, you can watch this living, breathing painting coming to life that you are fortunate to exist in.
It's actually, that's so true. I was just in someone's house that had a painting that even as the light changed outside, it was a Bucks County scenery with a barn, and the painting itself was changing as the light outside was changing. I was showing a house yesterday, and sometimes, you want to strategically show a house, and the sun was going down, and the field where, in August, so coming up next month, the farmers will come, and if there's enough land for them to farm, they come and they make the hay bales, and it becomes
Right.
a field of literally gold.
It's just absolutely amazing. It really is.
It is. It is. I'm so glad you found it.
I will never forget the moment that I was fortunate to discover New Hope, and it was very random, and thus led me to meeting you and another beautiful place such as Telluride and Aspen, Laguna Beach, etc. It's up there at the top of those places that altered the course of my life because it is a very special, unique place.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Caryn Black, thank you very much for taking the time. And thank you for your for our working relationship and our friendship, and I really enjoyed having the time for us to finally be able to do this. Caryn Black, Kerfus, Sotheby's International Realty, Biello and Black.com, BIELLOAND, BLACK.com. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Is there anything, before I let you go, that I didn't ask you that I should have, or anything that you'd like to mention that I didn't bring up?
No, I just want to thank you and Elevated Magazine for everything in your gorgeous magazine. My clients absolutely love it. They're floored when they see it. They just are blown away how gorgeous it is. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on this.
Thank you, Caryn. Have a fantastic weekend. I can't wait to speak with you soon and hopefully see you soon.
You got it. So have a great day.
You too. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
All right, honey. Thanks.